Hello, ladies and gentlemen of District 31 in Anchorage, Alaska. This is Daniel DiNardo. I'm standing for election to House District 31 seat in the House of Representatives in the Alaska Legislature. I'd like to talk about something that's very critical tonight: the financial crisis worldwide. Let me tell you something about it. It's all make-believe, it's all orchestrated, and it's part of the communist conspiracy to take upon themselves the power to garner all landed title interest in its own name. All organizations that call themselves banking structures are communistic in philosophy, creation, and in operation. Now, you probably have always understood that capitalism, as you've been taught in the university, you've taught in grade school and high school, has something to do with freedom, has something to do with the Republican form of government, has something to do with our great Constitution. It has absolutely nothing to do with it, because that's why you never read the word Constitution in the Declaration of Independence. You never read the word capitalism in the Constitution, and basically I'm going to correct myself. You never see the word capitalism mentioned in the Declaration of Independence. And there's a very good reason why. Because capitalism, as Karl Marx pointed out, is a subset in a very instrumental operational ploy by the Communist International. In 1923 alone, Nikolai Lenin placed the entire communist movement, the Communist International, into a corporate trust. Communist Party members refer to each other as corporators. Corporationism is a worldwide phenomenon, basically really got its real impetus in the 19th century, and in this country about 1838, with what was called the Great Pilgrimage by the Zionists who were leaving southern Russia to enter the United States in a massive immigration movement. That's when corporationism started taking over in the United States. Our founding fathers warned us: Jefferson, Jackson, Lincoln, Adams, Madison, all the great thinkers, Sherman, they all warned us that corporationism was worse than an invading army, because it was out to destroy the common law, and it's done that. Take a look at you. All of your homes are basically leased under a mortgage arrangement. Mortgages are a feudalistic phenomenon. They have nothing to do with the common law. The common law forbade mortgages. It forbade usury. All those great principles of the common law that were fought for by our founding fathers in 1776 have been overthrown. For the instrumentality of the lawyers, or basically I should call them attorneys, because they're really not lawyers. Lawyers, the men of the law were a priesthood. The attorneys in conspiracy with the banking financial interest of the world, they overthrew the common law and instituted what is called Soviet British equity in the modern era. It would be formerly known as British equity, and that was one of the most hotly contested arguments at the Constitutional Convention in 1789, was whether the United States Constitution or our laws should even allow equity to exist in the United States. And they made a very big mistake by not declaring it unconstitutional and forbidding its entry into the into the United States in practice and in fact and through the legal system, not the lawful system of the common law, but the legal system of what is now called Soviet British equity. It's mirrored in principle in what I've referred to many times as the international law merchant, the law of the tooth and the claw, the law of the lawless, and that is what attorneys practice on a daily basis. There is no attorney practicing anywhere that has ever studied the common law, that ever studied the common law in those institutions of psychological indoctrination they refer to as law schools, but they're not law schools. They're equity institutions teaching a foreign body of business practice to overthrow the common law and the Constitution of the United States. They've been successful in both endeavors. What you see practiced now internationally and worldwide is this equitable power. All these Federal Reserve notes, all these derivatives, all this phony baloney paper that's out there circulating, that's creating such a cataclysmic event worldwide, has nothing to do with the common law. It's not money. They are derivative products. They're fictitious creations of attorneys and bankers to backdoor control over landed interest in property. I'm going to end this right now, but the very next session is a more detailed discussion of the actual operations of this diabolical manipulation by the Federal Reserve to take over the entire property of all the citizens of the United States.